living in darkness, look for the light, cause the fire is burning and they're helping you fight. It's the fire keepers, the fire keepers, fire keepers, fire keepers, fire keepers. Recovery, Bumper BG, talk recovery. Fire keepers, fire. Welcome to Firekeeper Recovery. I'm Brant Grant.
Bumper Smith.
And we'll do a quick check-in before we get started, as we do a solo dolo episode, just the two of us getting into some, I don't know, whatever our topic's gonna be.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, we'll share it here in a minute.
We'll figure it out.
But yeah, I've had an up and down week. It's like, still, like I said last week, coming to them realizations that I have to change stuff now, and that's just starting that small steps to getting to the bigger places. So yeah, it's realizing that it's not going to happen. I got to start with the small steps to get there. So just being patient and all that stuff. Yeah, I was starting to spiral last weekend because I got in my head and was feeling lonely on a Friday night, but then went to sleep. I just had to start over the next day watching football. So.
Yeah, it's, man, whenever it's especially like something that elicits a strong emotional response, like thoughts or that do that, and you get to dwelling on them. It's just like the thoughts reinforce the emotions, and the emotions reinforce the thoughts, and it's easy to get just hung up on it and stuck on it. And you know that you need to break out of this cyclical thinking. You need to change whatever it is you're thinking of, distract yourself, healthy distractions. But it's difficult because there's such that strong emotional attachment to whatever it is that's going on in your mind.
Yeah.
It's tough. I'm glad you made it through that, though.
Yeah, because last week was crazy emotional. Just like the Leslie podcast we did last week was just like, I didn't think it, I kind of knew it was going to be hard, but then after, there's a kind of relief, but then it's all you're drained. I didn't know all that emotion.
Yeah. You never fully prepared for how you're going to feel.
Yeah.
And like you said, that relief does come, but then at the end of it, you realize that there's a little more to be done.
Yeah, a lot more work to do.
Yeah.
But then it's just good to have her here. So that was a good week, man. It was just like, people didn't get to see this after the podcast, but just the release we got to have, just hugging afterwards was just like, yeah, that's something we both needed, and it's just all just like, that's something I hopefully will help bring other people. Maybe they might not have a connection to me, but if they just need to talk about their loved one or whatever, just that. Sharing the good feelings is good. Yeah. That's what I've learned. That was what I learned through that Trail of Truth we did last year, where we made tombstones for people that we lost to addiction. And it wasn't about the tombstones at the end of the day. It was about them times we got together to make them tombstones. And it was your family member talking to somebody else's family member who lost someone, and just sharing happy memories about who we're remembering. And that was that was the power I seen. And that was just talking and sharing good memories. Because when you think about dead people, I guess, you always think about the last memories or whatever, the funeral. So, it's just been an emotional week, and just making it through, and always having your support and everything, just always a big help for me. So.
Yeah, glad to be here, man. Glad to be there for you. As far as my week went, after coming back to work from being out sick a week, and I never really lost track of my routine or anything, but just trying to get reoriented, mentally and emotionally to be in the right frame of mind and make sure I have the right attitude going back to work, because my problems are not anyone else's problems, and I have to make that delineation. I have to leave the home stuff at home and focus on the work stuff, just like I have to leave the work stuff at work when I'm focusing on home stuff. So it's that time off was definitely beneficial. I mean, it really helped me kind of reset and reconfigure how I needed to move going forward, you know.
Yeah.
But a domesticated life is good, man, you know. Every now and again, I'm like, damn, you know, I gotta wash a whole sink full of dishes again. But then I stop in the middle of that thought and I'm like, this is a joy.
Yeah.
This, you know, my children are eating off these plates that food that I made for them.
Yeah.
This is the essence of being alive and being in the present moment and being grateful for where I'm at and what I have. And yeah, it's fucking joyous and sweet. And I'm definitely a rich man, you know, very rich in recovery, in life and love. And, you know, I just count my blessings every day that I get to be a part of this, that we get to, you know, that people actually watch these and give us props whenever we see them out sometimes, or even are willing to come on and share.
Yeah.
You know, it's everything and everybody's just a blessing, you know. We all are, no matter where we're at.
Yeah, that is what, just being grateful is big in recovery. And you don't really think that when you're in addiction anyway. Like just the gratefulness to wake up, that's one of my biggest, like I'm alive, so I get to be alive. So.
Yeah. Grateful for the air and the sunshine and the grass and you know, the wind blowing and the rain on my shoulders. And
in addiction, you ain't grateful for nothing unless you got some money or some drugs. You know.
Definitely the polar opposite.
Well, hell, you still wasn't grateful when you had the drugs because you know I got to get more now.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck, I got to share this, or this is all I can get, or never an ounce of gratitude. I've kind of realized this truth for me. You know, it's probably obvious to other people, but anytime anxiety tries to creep up in my mind, the antidote for that is gratitude.
Yeah.
And living in the present moment. You know, just bringing my attention into the present moment. These things going on in my mind, that's just ether. It's nothing.
Yeah.
What's here and now in reality is what's tangible and what's real, and I can make it what I want it to be. So why not make it positive? Not just for me, but for everybody.
Yeah, man, staying positive. And speaking of like staying positive, I've had like where you feel maybe jealous of another person in their recovery because they're doing better than you think anyway. But then you get a peek behind that, and then you're like, they're putting on a mask too, they're not. So, I don't know, it's kind of like putting somebody on a pedestal in your recovery. Like you had these people that you kind of used as a roadmap to do recovery because it was working for them, and then they were doing good, or they are doing good in one facet. They're maybe getting education or maybe got jobs, but then you look behind it and it's like just barely holding on. That's all. Maybe they are drinking and hiding out.
Drowning in debt, struggling to just make ends meet or whatnot.
Yes.
I think you know, all of us to one degree or another, you know, we put on a facade. We put on this this representation of who we want everybody else to believe that we are. You know, and most of us want it to be thought of as like well-to-do, well-meaning, you know, good people, and we are, I think. But the struggle I have with what you're talking about is someone that you either have a strong emotional bond with or may have had in the past, and wrestling with, should I be happy for this person that seems to be doing well, or hate them for it, you know? And it's a challenge, you know. And then there's also the third option of like, well, you know, why don't you mind your own fucking business and worry about what you're doing and nothing else, which I think is the more appropriate position that one should take. Just focus on you and doing what you're doing. But experiences live on as memories, and those have emotional ties. And whenever you see certain people or even situations, it brings those things up.
Yeah.
And sometimes it comes like a rush. Sometimes it's just an inkling of, whatever emotions there are, and they're not typically positive emotions, or positive memories, but it's how you manage it's how you deal with that stuff that determines whether or not it's going to affect you and to what degree. Mm-hmm. If it's I dwell on this and I'm just like spite or anger or even vengeance, just be in my heart for a long day. I'm just going to be a miserable bastard, and probably be a prick to everybody just because I got what's going on inside my own head. Or just, have a little bit of humility and think, everybody's path is different. And I don't have the right to condemn or criticize or judge somebody else's path in recovery or life in general. Mine is the only one that I should be critiquing and judging and seeking to modify or improve or whatever. But it does present a lot of challenges at times,
Yeah. Especially if you got a connection with them that you can't get rid of or something. Like if they're your blood brother or something like that.
Yeah,
your family.
Somebody you got kids with.
Yeah.
Whoever it may be, it's we've all got those people in our lives that maybe there's like this separation because of negative experiences that were never amended or just left to be what they are.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's got to be that way, but if it's family, I think it's worth it to try to mend those.
Yeah.
Somebody you care about.
You can only do what you can do.
That's right. That's right. You can only take it as far as you can in the right way, and takes two to tango.
Yeah, and at least you tried.
Yeah.
That's where I get to when I'm trying to make amends, I guess, or just like be responsible now. It's like I'm not that person I was years ago, stealing from you. So now you can leave, your house is unlocked.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like, and the way you was talking there is, when you see them trying, you also want to have a wait and see effect too. Because I know this is my 4th or 5th time trying recovery, and I did good for a year, and then, but now I got 5 years now, so it's all like, it was a build up, or ramp up, but you see other people's, all right, maybe they're not going to make it this time, but they have bits that they didn't have the last time.
Yeah.
Hopefully that next time
put it all together.
Yeah.
Make it work. I think, from myself and my own experience in my recovery journey, there's certain pitfalls that I wasn't quite aware of until I was on the verge of falling into them, like the wait and see effect. See someone who might not be having success in the recovery or struggling to gain traction in it, and then once they do, it of course depends on who it is.
Yeah.
In my mind, you're thinking, they usually get to this point and then they just fall right back off and, can't be successful, but that's the same way of thinking that everybody else had about me when I was struggling to gain traction in my recovery, when I would do good for a couple of months and then go right back to the way it was. And I did that several times, so those kind of psychological pitfalls, like judgments, making judgments on people, and we judge everything, you like Coke or Pepsi better?
Yeah, Coke.
It's a judgment, you know. Pepsi is not as good as Coca-Cola. I agree with you, but yeah, everything's like a bias or a judgment like that, and it's we really shouldn't do that to each other, especially you know, those of us in recovery. But that's one of the pitfalls that I think I had gotten close to falling into, and thankfully come to the realization, like, look, that was me. That was exactly me. You know, do good for a little while, fall off. Do good for a little while, fall off.
Yeah. So I had to change my thinking. That was what one of my problems was getting to them certain points and go, all right, well, now I've done all I can do. Now they're making me pay for it. So now but not saying, now it'd been cheaper to pay that $400 than the $50 every day for 30 days. But you don't think about it. You say, I just need $400 right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. And I'm just glad people have other ways, like the Suboxone and methadone is free pretty much all the time now.
Yeah.
It wasn't 6 years ago, you had to pay for it after 6 months.
I remember that, man. I remember the first couple of times I was in that program, I never made it till 6 months to even have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But the last time I was in the program, one of the last times, I think the third time, I was approaching that, oh shit, it was this last time. That's how far back it's been. But I was approaching that 6 months, but it was in the discussion then of like making it available for like long-term maintenance.
Yeah.
So once I reached that 6 months, it had already went into effect, and so I didn't have to pay for it out of pocket.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people that had to, man, it was a real setback for them.
Yeah, especially if you didn't have insurance. Yeah. So that was a big deterrent.
Like $300.
Yeah, that was just if you was taking the 8 milligrams a day.
Yeah.
So if you had more than that, it would probably triple.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I like how things have changed and that things are evolving. There's more opportunities to get help.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll help create more opportunities, other ways. Because, I don't know, you just got to see it. You just got to see somebody doing it. I don't know.
Yeah. It's, like you were saying, so many things have changed. The attitude and mindset towards addiction and recovery has evolved, and I think it's evolved in a good way. It's seen less and less as like this moral failure and more as a brain disease that it is. And so I think it's good, hopefully it'll keep going, man. And shit, everybody be in recovery that should be in recovery. And
I think that's the blessing and the curse of it all is like it has touched almost everybody's family.
Yeah.
So you got somebody in your family that's probably struggled with it.
Like it's had to affect the right ones in order for things to change around here.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that it takes that, but I mean that's true for humans in general.
Yeah. If it's why. I was going to say something, but
as far as what we were discussing earlier, having any kind of feelings of resenting someone else's success in recovery, or like you mentioned, if there's any jealousy or anything of that's really, instead of harboring those emotions and letting them get to you or even acting on them, those are moments, real opportunities to do some self-reflection and really try to find out and understand, like, well, why is it that I feel like that towards whoever? Why is that the first place my heart and mind goes whenever I see them out, or run into them or whatever, but that self-reflection is not always easy, because we're all prideful and we all think, we're the bee's knees.
Yeah.
And it's that pendulum of judgment and examinations is difficult when it swings back in your direction.
Yeah. And you're like, I'm jealous of him because I know I'm not doing the work. And he's doing the work, so that's why I'm jealous.
He's getting more done or going further in less amount of time.
Yeah, it only took him 3 months. I've been here a year.
Yeah, and it's always something like vain and stupid.
Yeah.
You know? Like, let me just be glad for him.
Yeah.
You know, let me cheer him on.
Yeah.
Instead, it's like, secretly fucking hate that.
Because
you know.
sometimes them's the ones that be the hands you need when you need it.
I know, yeah, man, that's...
Because there's a guy I probably talked about behind his back and stuff, but just because he ain't gonna, I don't believe he's doing it.
Yeah, like he ain't really
but
doing
now
it. He
he's
ain't
the
really
one.
bad.
Now he's one of the dudes that supports. Like, yeah, BG. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, just be happy people are trying. Man.
Yeah.
But also you just know some people are gonna fail too. And all you can do then is love them too. It's like, you might not be able to be there for them as much, like hands-on, but you can just say, you'll get it next time, hopefully.
Yeah. And it doesn't include like enabling or letting somebody completely off the hook for whatever, but it's definitely not adding to whatever it is they're dealing with.
Yeah.
And are using substances to try to deal with or get through the day, you know, struggling with or whatever. It's, you know, like you said, you know, be glad that people are considering recovery and trying, even if it's like they're only able to abstain from use for a few days or even a few hours, you know. I remember like a week without anything. That was a long time, you know. And now, I mean, and that's true for a lot of people that maybe have never really attempted being in recovery, you know, like a week without substances. I mean, that's a hell of a long time for somebody that's all the time, every day.
For years.
Yeah.
It's breaking that pattern, just like building your routine. That's like unlearning to learn how to be normal. And it's,
and it's figuring out your routines, like a lot of trial and error, just like figuring out which coping skills or grounding techniques are going to work best for you. It's like a buffet, you know. You pick and choose what you believe will work best for you, and discard the rest. And you fine tune, you refine the ones that do work for you. And most importantly, I think you practice these things when you don't need them, so that when you do need them, they're second nature. You know, and it's not like a mad scramble for a grounding technique or a coping skill. You know?
Grasping that straw.
Your tools or your recovery tools are sharpened. You know which ones work best, and you know how to use them efficiently and effectively.
That's kind of like, I wish I was one of the ones that was athletic or like exercise was a coping skill. But like, it's like more of creative things or coping skills are like writing or like just like singing by yourself. Just what works, you never know, man. Because I might want to try some diamond art one day. Because it sounds interesting, I don't know.
I think I know what that is now. You know, I've had some time to think about it. It's it's like paint by numbers, but it's not exactly that. But it's kind of like vaguely in the same.
It's like bedazzling or something. That sound like. So it's just. I just think we covered a lot, man. It's like
all over the place on this one.
Hopefully there's something good in there for everybody.
Hopefully lots of stuff. A lot of rambling.
Because, I don't know, sometimes these are the best ones because when you're just going.
A lot of ideas come out, a lot of information's out, and I hope it's useful. I always hope that these are of some benefit to whoever watches, you know.
Because basically, like today's episode was just seeing two dudes in recovery having a conversation.
Right.
And hopefully, cause I know I took a lot from what I was hearing from you, so I thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, likewise, man.
That's my beautiful ashes trying to thank you for sharing.
Oh, yeah. Sharing is caring.
But heck yeah, I thank you for being here. Hopefully we'll have a guest next week.
Yeah.
If not, it'll be us here spreading some more knowledge and hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just regular hope. We can't. Somebody else already has spreads breast hope. But for Firekeeper Recovery, I'm Brant Grant.
Bumper Smith.
And as always, we'll leave the light on for you. Eastern Bay, Cherokee, Firekeeper Recovery. We them firekeepers, the firekeepers, the firekeepers, the firekeepers. Yeah, coming to you live from the mountains of smoke. Firekeeper Recovery, bringing you hope. If you're living in darkness, look for the light, cause our fire is burning and they're helping you fight. It's the firekeepers, the firekeepers, 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 recovery. Bumpin' BG, talk recovery.